The man who opened this ancient tomb died mysteriously. Another collapsed suddenly, his body never explained. And for years after, anyone who dared touch the treasures inside died. Was it coincidence? Or did a 3,000-year-old boy king take revenge from beyond the grave? It was the greatest archaeological discovery of the 20th century, the tomb of Tutankhamun, untouched for over 3 millennia. Gold, jewels, hieroglyphs carved by ancient hands. But when the tomb was opened in 1922, the headlines didn't celebrate a discovery. They screamed of something far more terrifying. Death comes on wings to he who enters. And then people started dying. Howard Carter was the man behind the dig. But the money came from Lord Carnarvon, a wealthy British aristocrat with a taste for danger. On November 26, 1922, they broke through the final wall. Inside was a glittering chamber frozen in time, Tutankhamun's tomb, untouched, undisturbed. Until now, just 6 months later, Carnarvon was dead. Mosquito bite, infection, blood poisoning. But what spooked the world was how he died. At the exact moment of his death in Cairo, all the lights in the city went out. In England, his dog howled and dropped dead. Newspapers ran wild. The mummy's curse is real. But surely, that's just coincidence, right? At first, skeptics dismissed the curse. Old men die, they said. Coincidence. Hysteria. But then came more deaths. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, the radiologist who x-rayed Tut's body, died mysteriously. George J. Gould, American railroad tycoon, touched the tomb. Fever. Dead. Aubrey Herbert, Carnarvon's half-brother, blindness and septicemia. Hugh Evelyn White, archaeologist, left a suicide note written in blood. I have succumbed to a curse. Still sound like coincidence? Some whispered it wasn't just bad luck. It was a curse written into the tomb itself. A now-lost inscription allegedly read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the king's peace." Others pointed to a strange amulet buried with Tut, one forged from desert glass, caused by ancient meteors. It was called the Jewel of Disaster, and one piece ended up around the neck of a woman named Lady Beatrix. She wore to a ball. That night, her mansion caught fire. She barely escaped, covered in burns. The jewel? Found untouched in the rubble. Over the next decade, over 20 people connected to the tomb's opening died. Unusual deaths. Fustes. Deaths the press called the Curse of the Pharaoh. Even Sir Bruce Ingham, who didn't visit the tomb, but owned a paperweight made from a mummy's hand, had his house burned down. Twice. Medical examiners were baffled. Scientists couldn't explain the pattern. Carter kept denying the curse. But privately, he started keeping detailed notes of every death. Decades later, modern scientists tried to debunk the mystery. In 2002, researchers from the University of Zurich studied 25 people who entered the tomb. Result: those who entered actually lived longer than those who didn't. So the curse was fake? But skeptics missed something critical. Many who died didn't enter the tomb. They merely touched objects, studied items, stored treasures in museums or homes. In 2010, a strange fungus was discovered on ancient mummies, Aspergillus flavus, deadly to those with weak immune systems. But the timing, the precision, the sheer scale of the deaths, science still couldn't fully explain it. Maybe it was mass hysteria, a global media frenzy, exotic fears amplified by headlines. After all, Howard Carter, the man who opened the tomb, lived until age 64. He died peacefully in his home. That should debunk the curse, right? But Carter also kept a secret. In his private journal, never meant for publication, he wrote, "Sometimes I hear scratching inside the walls. I am afraid to be alone with the artifacts. I have never felt anything like this before." What was he hiding? In 2020, a British museum curator revealed something astonishing. A missing piece of Tutankhamun's tomb had been stolen in the 1930s and returned anonymously in 1990. No one ever admitted taking it, but attached was a note. "Forgive me. I cannot sleep. I cannot eat. Please return it before it kills again. When scientists tested the artifact for pathogens, they found unidentifiable fungal spores that had grown dormant in dry tomb conditions. But they didn't explain the rest. Why did the thief's family, 3 generations, die in eerily similar ways? Some experts believe the curse wasn't supernatural, but psychological. That belief, so strong, so deeply held, can literally make the body sick. Placebo's darker twin, the nocebo effect. You believe you're cursed, your body makes it real. But that doesn't explain all of it. The black cat seen walking outside Carnarvon's hotel the night he died. The hieroglyphs that seem to shift positions over time. The haunting dream that Lady Evelyn Herbert had before her father's death, of being choked by desert sand. In 2022, exactly 100 years after the tomb was opened, an independent Egyptian researcher revealed a discovery that never made the headlines. A second burial chamber beneath Tutankhamun's tomb, still sealed. Inside, unknown, unopened, untouched for 3,300 years. Egyptian authorities refuse to explore it. No diris, no cameras. They say it's out of respect, but locals whisper something else. The curse was only the beginning. The real tomb was never meant to be found. And if that's true, then the story of Tutankhamun isn't over. It's just beginning.